What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Code, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This is the WWE Super Showdown pay-per-view review, or fight reviews, or whatever you want to call it. This pay-per-view took place in Saudi Arabia, probably about 12 hours or so ago. Just finished watching it now. It was a mixed bag, I would say, at best, for this pay-per-view. There wasn't too many great, fantastic matches going on, but there was a lot of changes that have happened now that could be left up to debate or left up to people to interpret why things like this have happened. And at least two or three things in my eyes that could really be something that a lot of fans might not be very happy about. Fans might not be very much liked towards, in terms of some of the results that happened. We'll go from start to finish here. Now, I didn't watch the pre-show, but I know that the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson beat the Viking Raiders, which is a bit surprising, but they did do it last time they were in Saudi Arabia, so it's not as surprising as many people would think. So the first match of the night was a gauntlet match for a trophy. I'm sorry, I don't remember what the trophy was called, but it's named after a mountain in Saudi Arabia that dedicates strength and fortitude. That's what it represents, and the trophy here was indeed it was a trophy that, like, it looked really good, to be honest. It looked like a trophy that anybody would want to have. It wasn't the greatest of matches, but we'll kick things off. So first off, RTruth was first up. He did his song, his dance, and the crowd really looked up to him, really enjoyed that. And then you had Bobby Lashley with Lana also coming in. And this match, the first match of the gauntlet, it was alright. It was decent. RTruth put a good showing in, and so did Bobby Lashley. But I don't know, maybe it's just this pay-per-view, but I really hate what Bobby Lashley has been doing recently, man. This guy should be up there with Drew McIntyre, with Brock Lesnar, as dominating the WWE as champions, man. I remember in Impact Wrestling, he held every championship that Impact had to offer, and now he's struggling to beat RTruth. It's just not a good situation for Bobby Lashley whatsoever. Yeah, so Bobby Lashley lost this match. It was like he tried to spear RTruth, hit the post. He fell over RTruth. RTruth pinned him, and 1, 2, 3, and that was it, really. For that match, Bobby Lashley attacked him from behind, and here comes Andrade Cien Almas, or just Andrade they call him now, and he first time he came back since the injury with the DDT to the outside, and they played it well here. They made RTruth win purely because of that injury. Obviously, it's not fully healed. I liked subtle things like that when they both had their head collision, and that took Andrade out. That was really good storytelling, in my opinion. And it didn't end very well for him after that, because Eric Rowan came with his crate or whatever it is, with something inside of it, and ended up RTruth pushing it over accidentally. But Eric Rowan didn't take kindly to that. Hits him with the steel stairs, disqualified. So RTruth has won 3 matches now. Incredible showing. But then AJ Styles just I don't know what AJ Styles was doing, really. AJ Styles was next. He comes, he starts doing his dance moves, his dad dances and everything, and he showed great banter, really, because it was funny, honestly. But he ended up just putting RTruth in the calf crusher after attacking the leg for a little bit. RTruth taps out, and then he's gone. And then Rey Mysterio was going to be the last competitor, but Rey Mysterio was attacked by the OC, and he couldn't participate. So AJ Styles, of course, is the winner. He's the winner until, by the way, like and subscribe for this one, until a certain man, he attacked the OC, left anonymous, and all of a sudden the dead man is back. Undertaker returns at Saudi Arabia at Super Showdown to a massive ovation, probably the best ovation in a while in Saudi Arabia, and it went off. And the entrance, of course, took forever. It's the Undertaker's entrance. He walks into the ring. He didn't even get a chance, man. My favorite part of his entrance, taking off that hat, the thunder, the lightning, and but it didn't happen. But he ended up quickly just choke slamming AJ Styles. 1, 2, 3. Undertaker wins the trophy. Don't really think he cares about the trophy, but he sends a message to AJ Styles. Obviously, this has to lead to a match between the two, like a proper match, because AJ Styles and Undertaker would be a fantastic match to watch. AJ Styles is still a very, very, very world-class ring general, still arguably the best wrestler in the world for many people, and he can definitely put Undertaker into a very, very good match, one of the best that Undertaker's had in a long time. So I'm looking forward to see if that happens. Hopefully it does. I don't see Undertaker showing up at Super Showdown, but not at WrestleMania. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So we should be seeing him very, very soon. And that's a great way to kick off the show, to be honest. I give that a solid rating. Like, that was a really good match. It was really good excitement. Good to see the Undertaker. I give a thumbs up to that one. That was a great match. And then going into the next match, it was The Miz and John Morrison versus The New Day for the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. This match was pretty good as well. It was arguably better than the Gauntlet match, just based on the length and the actual individuals in it. John Morrison was amazing today. So with Kofi, Big E, like, everybody pulled their weight here, and it was just ending up being a really, really good tag team match. By the way, that Kofi, he did the trust fall, the one where he just jumps from his back to the outside. That looked like it hurt. Like, don't tell me that these guys don't know how, don't get hurt when they're in the ring, because my goodness, it was incredibly tough to watch that. Like, that bump was really bad, and but he's all right. Thank goodness he's okay. John Morrison was doing his thing. He was doing kicks and everything, and The Miz was being The Miz. Big E was one of the standouts, to be honest, of the match. But Miz and Morrison was, I couldn't believe it. They were the favourites at Saudi Arabia. I thought the American crowd might take to Miz and John Morrison, but the Saudi Arabian crowd also took very well to Miz and John Morrison, despite them being the bad guys here. And they ended up winning the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. We are new champions. New Day, I don't think they have anything to be ashamed of to lose the match, to be honest. They're 7-time tag team champions. They're always going to end up having the titles again. So it's just a matter of time for them. But Miz and John Morrison finally comes back and wins a championship. The Miz gets another championship added to his repertoire. He's held so many championships, and this is just another one. And it's good to see, man, because obviously I've been a fan of these guys since they were young up-and-comers, really. And they were doing the dirt sheet on ECW. They were winning the tag team titles, and then they end up turning on each other. And yeah, like, I've seen it before, and I was a big fan of it. I loved the dirt sheet. I loved what they were doing. They were being very unique, and they're definitely what, 10, 15 years later, they've brought back something that was really good. And I hope to see more of it in the future before eventually a Miz and John Morrison WrestleMania match next year. I'm just saying, let's make that happen. That's one that should have happened ages ago, but now that it's here, let's do it now. And we'll see what happens with that. I think the next match was the Alberto versus Gaza match, Angel Gaza. Look, I don't know their names, especially Gaza, because he's just coming from NXT. I know he was a Cruiserweight champion. Humberto has been on Raw consistently for a very good period of time now. He was in the last Saudi Arabian match, and this match was probably match of the night in terms of quality and technique in the ring. But entertainment wise, I don't think the fans were really up for this one, to be honest, and neither was the commentary. The commentary didn't seem very excited at all. But Gaza and Angel Gaza ends up winning the match, and it was by a roll-up, or not really a roll-up, but like they ended up going for sunset flips and everything, and then it ended up having multiple pin attempts. Just one of them ended up putting Humberto away. And I, for the life of me, I absolutely hate how Humberto loses a match every time by a roll-up. Every time I see this guy in a pay-per-view match, he loses by a roll-up. And I hate it, man. I hate it so much. I think he's a talented guy, and obviously you want to make him look strong because he's versed very good competition, and he's beaten like the likes of AJ Styles and everybody. Like, he's beaten very good competition. But come on, man, there's got to be another finish that you could do besides just a roll up or a sneak pin to end it. There's got to be more than that in your repertoire, seriously. But nevertheless, I think that was probably my favorite match to watch in terms of actual match quality. But yeah, obviously there were better matches throughout the night. So let's keep going. The next match was Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, the Messiah and a protege, versus the Street Profits. And everybody loves the Street Profits in the USA, in Australia, in Saudi Arabia. Everybody loved them. Everybody was rooting for them. But I don't think anybody really believed that they would win. And I just want to say, shout out to Buddy Murphy from Australia, all the Australian WWE fans. We were happy to see you there. We were happy to see you in a big time match, in a big time pay-per-view, and end up winning the match as well. This match was brutal. There was a spot where Buddy Murphy was running. He ended up just getting bullied through a table, or not through the table, but onto the table. That looked tough. And the curb stop onto the apron was pretty bad as well. The double DDT spot. There was a lot of good spots here, and it was a good match. I really enjoyed this match as well. And Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy retained. Buddy Murphy also got the pin off of Seth Rollins' finisher, the curb stomp. And look, it was a good match. I enjoyed the match. I really rate Buddy Murphy from Australia. So obviously I was happy to see him win. I'm happy to see any Australian win at any time, really, to be honest. Represent your country proud. And this match was very solid as well. Probably my second favourite match of the night in terms of match quality. We'll go to the next one. The Mansoor beat Dolph Ziggler. So this match for me was just, I think the Cesaro match was better than this one. Dolph Ziggler is a very, very good wrestler. Mansoor, he's gotten really, really good since last year in that Battle Royal, really. He's had an exceptional match with Cesaro. He's had a pretty decent match with Dolph Ziggler here. I'm sure he's helped by the quality of superstar that he's versing, but he himself has added a lot of good moves, like that reverse slice bread into a DDT. That was incredible stuff. It's very unique, something you don't see very often, if ever. I don't think I've ever seen that personally before. And then obviously his finisher and everything. It was just good. It was a good match. And I think he's undefeated in Saudi Arabia. I wonder when that's going to end. Is he going to have Undertaker 21-0 winning streak in Saudi Arabia? That's eventually he has to lose sometime, but we'll see. Dolph Ziggler probably wasn't the guy to lose to. I think if Cesaro, last time when Cesaro versed him, I thought Cesaro would win. He ended up losing, so I didn't think Dolph Ziggler would have a chance, to be honest, and he didn't. Bobby Roode got ejected very early. That was a bit of fun before the match. And yeah, look, it was a good match. The Saudi Arabian fans love Mansoor, and he gives them hope, and he is a very good representation of the WWE in Saudi Arabia, as well as Saudi Arabian fans. So I don't see a problem with him winning here, but eventually he's going to have to lose. That's my problem if I had to give one. But yeah, let's go to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship of the World. Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet, and I have a very big problem with this one. So the match pretty much started. Ricochet had a very good promo before. It wasn't. It was just like a promo to hype up the match. It wasn't actually him speaking, but it was basically indicating that he could be the one. He's the one and only one. Why can't he beat Brock Lesnar? Why can't he beat the big man? Why can't he's the underdog for all of his life? People telling him he can't do something. He had a very good message, but this meant nothing now because the match started pretty much. Ricochet runs at him, tries to get a drop kick. Ended up Lesnar catching him and then just kicking the shit out of him for the whole match, really. And suplexes, Ricochet sold well, but My problem is, look, I understand you have to make Brock Lesnar look as strong as possible, and I understand beating Ricochet within 2 minutes or whatever it was. But you're telling me Ricochet cannot get one single move off on Brock Lesnar in 2 minutes? You're telling me that's how you're going to treat a superstar that could potentially be the future of the WWE? He was in my top five of the next big thing in WWE. And I don't see why you would do that to one of your best talents. And this is the problem WWE do with every single talent that we believe has potential. To Sami Zayn, it's happened, and now it's happening to Ricochet. You just job them out within 2 minutes to people who are not going to be here in 10 years. And I don't see how that benefits him. I don't see how that benefits anything to do with the championship, because yeah, Brock Lesnar looks strong, but how much stronger do you need him to look? He is Brock Lesnar. Well, you could have put him in a half an hour match with Ricochet. He would still look strong. It doesn't matter. So that's what I had a big problem with. Not one single move Ricochet was able to do, and you just really buried your up and coming talent, and that's something I have a very big problem with. And he's not going to get another rematch. So I'm going to call this now. The only thing to rectify this, Ricochet needs to win if he is healthy at this time, God willing. Ricochet needs to win Money in the Bank. I'm going to come out and say it. He needs to win Money in the Bank whenever it comes. He needs another chance. He needs to be a champion of something, because seriously, he was not given a chance here to even show what he can do. And I guarantee you, you put Ricochet in a championship match, he will bring 5-star matches to WWE, something that only NXT can seem to do these days. And this was no different. There was no 5-star match here, and Ricochet can definitely do that for you if you give him the opportunity. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but like, I just had a big problem with that. I like Brock Lesnar. I like him being champion. Sometimes it depends on how often he is champion, but I just don't see Ricochet not getting one move off as beneficial for anybody, including Brock Lesnar. We'll move on. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. The first thing I want to say about this match was I really like Roman Reigns' gimmick where he locked the cage. That could be something he could do every time in a steel cage match. I don't know. I like thinking of the small things. It reminds me of every time Undertaker was in a Hell in a Cell match, he would slam the cage door shut. That's his sign of, you're in the ring with me now. You're trapped inside here with me, and you're not gonna win. That's basically what it was. The intimidation factor. I want to see more of this in WWE. I want to see anytime Roman Reigns is in a Hell in a Cell match or he's in a steel cage match, I want to see him lock the door himself. I want to see the big dog carry the chain. I want to see the key, and I want him to lock it every time every time he's in a match. I know it's something small and no one would really care for it. No one probably even noticed it, but I don't know. It's just little things like that I like to pay attention to. And if he does that every single time, eventually it will catch on, like what it did with Undertaker, and people will really enjoy seeing it every time that a special occasion match is in place. Anyway, besides that, the match was fine. It was a good match. I thought it was going to end a little bit quicker than it did, to be honest, but it went a good length. Roman Reigns beat Baron Corbin with a Superman punch with the chain in hand. The rivalry is over. Roman Reigns obviously is the winner. He reigns supreme over Baron Corbin, the king. But I just want to say, throughout this whole rivalry, there's been a lot of ups and downs, especially on my end on how I feel about it. Like, obviously, the dog food stuff just didn't need to be there. But overall, Baron Corbin really had a good showing of himself in this feud. I really think his stock has risen since versing Roman Reigns, and now he's a proper heel that people just don't hate him because of how he wrestles. People just hate him because it's him, and that's the job that he claims that he loves so much, and he's doing an excellent job at it. So that's it. Like, credit to Baron Corbin for that, and yeah, it was a good match. Then you've got Bayley versus Naomi. This match was good for more than one reason. It's the first SmackDown Women's Championship match, or first ever Women's Championship match in Saudi Arabia. Two very good competitors, very good. I'm assuming they're very good friends as well. But like, outside of the programming, they don't like each other. Bayley looked really good here. She looked like a really good heel. Naomi, she looked alright as well. The match was very good. And for sentimental reasons, this was a very big match for the women in Saudi Arabia as well, just for gender equality. That's what WWE are trying to help achieve in the country where it's just not present at the time. And matches like this will keep it going. And now the next time in Saudi Arabia, we need to see more than one women's match, and that will just end up helping tremendously in terms of in terms of helping change their views and life values in Saudi Arabia. That's what I think their goal is, and slowly but surely, that's why they have 8 years now to change. It will eventually become better and better and better. That's all you can ask for. It's not just WWE that are doing this now. There are many countries, many organizations, UFC, boxing, that are taking the talents of Saudi Arabia, and they will be doing similar things hopefully in the future, and that's incredible as well. Bayley wins by very smart, tying her legs into her shirt, then just dropping it on her head with it was kind of like a reverse DDT. I don't know what it really was. 1, 2, 3. Bayley, the heel, always finds a way to win. She always finds an opportunity, not really to cheat, but to capitalize on a certain situation. And the shirt really played an impact on a very long shirt. Ended up taking the win. Now, this will probably, in my eyes, this leads to a match between them as WrestleMania, because really Bayley doesn't have much competition at the moment. If you think about it, who's next? I mean, Sasha Banks doesn't seem to be in the conversation. They're still pretty good friends. Naomi or Carmella. Don't really know of anybody else. Mandy Rose, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's obviously someone clear that I'm missing, but we'll see. We'll see. Going into the main event now, Goldberg versus Bray Wyatt. This is another one that I potentially have a problem with, and I'm going to explain why it's potentially, and I don't completely rule it out whatsoever. So starting off the match, obviously their entrances, Goldberg's entrance, iconic. Bray Wyatt or the Fiend's entrance, iconic. And it started off with a spear, and Bray Wyatt kicks out at 1. He shows dominance, sits up quickly. He put the mandible claw on Goldberg twice, in which Goldberg was able to survive it twice. Goldberg hit a total of 4 spears and a jackhammer, and that put away the Fiend. Goldberg is the new Universal Champion, and I cannot understand how this is beneficial for the Fiend. The only way I can see this being beneficial is for, again, another match at WrestleMania. We're just setting up matches for WrestleMania. I understand the Fiend has to lose sometime, and Goldberg is not the worst person to lose to. I know many people would want an up and coming talent, but still, I don't see this being particularly bad unless the Fiend never beats Goldberg and it just disappears. He never gets a rematch or anything. And that will piss me off, because that's potentially ruining such an iconic character that WWE have created with Bray Wyatt. And you've decimated him in 2-3 minutes. Even though he got his offense in, he had the mandible claw. He actually did something, but that's the difference between Ricochet and Bray Wyatt. But I just don't see how this is beneficial unless he gets a rematch. And I'm thankful, because at the end of the match, when Goldberg was celebrating, the Fiend stood up, like nothing happened. He stared at Goldberg while Goldberg was celebrating, and then he disappeared. Now, in my eyes, that's an indication that there's more to come in this rivalry. And that's beautiful. That's what I want to see. That's why I'm not ruling it out as being a really bad thing of Goldberg winning, Bray Wyatt losing. The Fiend is no longer the champion. Congratulations to Goldberg. Another Universal title reign. This is the second one now. It's a good way to end Super Showdown. And that was it. That was Super Showdown in a nutshell. It wasn't the greatest pay-per-view, let's be honest. Like, the matches were subpar at best. But there was a lot of good characters here. You got to see your favorites like The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg. You got to see the big stars come out to Saudi Arabia. That's really it, really. That's what I think every time I see a Saudi Arabian pay-per-view. the matches will be okay, but you're gonna see really big stars, and it's been happening for a couple of years now. You got to see Shawn Michaels, you got to see John Cena, Triple H, you got to see Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Tyson Fury. You got to see a lot of big names perform for WWE, and maybe it's the paycheck, maybe it's just the awareness. Who knows? I don't know what it is. It's probably the money, but yeah, this was Super Showdown. Those are my reviews on all the matches. The pay-per-view as a whole, I'm gonna give it like average. It was average, but thank you all for watching, and there's a lot now to understand with SmackDown and Raw. Let's see what happens. Let's see where things go. And the next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber, I believe. And I'll give a reaction on that one. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the women's chamber match. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're still watching. This is the Sports Code. Take care and peace.